Hey, good morning, everybody. Jason here on this wonderful Friday. So today I want to say we're up 5 grand, but we're really just not so far down on the account, to be honest. Taken a beating this last week, 50, and totally for the month, 70 down totally, but. I am positioned where I want to be positioned. I obviously had to play a lot of defense over the last quite a while here and just like roll things out. I did take a few, like 90% probability of profits just expiring next week just to get some money in the game while things are going down. So yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I had bought some Workhorse $20 calls, and I bought those things for 40 cents a piece. And when they popped up ridiculous right before close yesterday, I went ahead and turned those into debit spreads, but I was able to sell the 21 call against those for $100. So, or $1. So we have 40 cents or $40 profit on each of those. So 160 is what I made off of those guys. And other than that, like I have these few Tesla put credit spreads, 645, 630. I'm not sure if we're seeing support or not. It's definitely pretty crazy. And then this morning, as it's dropping again, I was like, well, let me just open up some super crazy, well, what I consider super crazy, far out of the money things. These 450s, 400s. We did collect $40 on those. I mean, that's $1,000 risk for $40. But man, if they go down there, I don't know what to say. And we opened up one more of these guys, another couple weeks out of 430, 425. Only collected $20 for our $500 collateral there, so not much, but I'm not willing to really be any more aggressive than that at this point. There may be some things that I still end up having to roll out, but nothing expiring anytime soon. That's too far up. The 700 690s expiring 326. Those may be the next things to roll, just depending on how this next week goes up. We'll see if things cool down. It looks like TLT, or the bond market, has reached its resistance. So, I mean, I guess we'll find out. Other than that, as far as the actual performance of everything, pretty much everything is dropping, or has been dropping over the last few days. A little bit of recovery as soon as the SPY bounce back. We have the stimulus, should have some stimulus news today. Not sure when that's supposed to come out, but of course we'll pay attention to that. And of course, we need to always check out Rolls-Royce, $155. So we're only $110 up on that. That's hopefully that'll be a $100 stock here soon, as soon as what Steven suggested comes to fruition, and Tesla and Rolls-Royce get together and they do that to create an actual crazy luxury car to compete with Lucid. And Lucid, by the way, it's one of the few other EV makers that I'm bullish on, because if you've ever been in a Model S, and I think all this stuff is super important just to get your hands on it, see it, like when you actually want to own a company as much as possible. So I've driven various cars in my life, and other people's cars, obviously. So there's a certain feel when you're in like a Mercedes or a Lexus. I did drive a Lexus for quite a while. I had a what was it, like the GX 460, so the SUV, and my ex-girlfriend actually had the LS, so that's the big luxury cars. So I think that LS is what you would compare with the Model S. And there was something so much more luxurious about that Lexus now that it was a 2006 compared to, I've driven the newer Model S, which is nice. It has a nice interior, but something about the luxury for me just isn't quite there yet. So that's why I think Lucid was pretty smart. I think they have a niche just to bring to the market that higher level of luxury. Who knows what Tesla will do? Elon said many times that they're going to produce what makes sense. So I expect in the near term future, that means that $25,000 super affordable version, and at some point they'll have delivery vans, delivery cars, minivans, or whatever the next iteration of that might be. But with the battery constraint being their major thing, it's definitely not demand. It's always been production constrained. We'll see how that goes and how fast they can ramp up things. So, all right, guys. Well, I hope you guys have had a better week and better month than me. Yeah. Other than the week and the month sucking so far, but everything's okay. One thing I do want to mention, because I rolled everything just out, I have not realized any losses on any of that yet. Basically, my account value was so high because I was so positive on a lot of those credit spreads. And so that showed a positive in my account because at that moment I could have closed them out and that would have been the balance at that time. However, when I roll those things out and we show this lower amount, it doesn't mean that I've lost the money at all. And now it's just more time before I get to realize those gains. Given if Tesla does recover somewhat, and it doesn't even have to recover very much, it's basically needs to get and stay in the 700s towards the end of the year. So we're fine there. But I was also looking back and thinking about this. This was like the last big drop they had. This was that battery day guy. And if you look at it account percentage wise, and I'm looking at the bottom number here. So 128,000, and at one point down to 72,000. So at that point I lost, like half, basically, yeah, like almost half of the account value. Is that right? Like so hard to do. Can I see it back then? No. So granular. So 130 down to 70. So maybe somewhere close to half the account value. And from that high, which was around August, for me to get back there was all the way in November. So August, September, October, November. So that was 4 months before we saw this next jump up. Now that's what's going to happen with me rolling out credit spreads at this point. So again, I've said it many times, I'm not looking to have a ton of money by the end of next week, by the end of next month. This money in this account, it's not like I need it to be able to live or eat. So we definitely have patience. And if it takes another 6 months to get back above the levels we were, so be it. Fantastic. All right, guys. Have any questions? Let me know. I will do my absolute best to answer them. Otherwise, hopefully we will see you tomorrow, 1:30 Pacific Standard Time on the live stream. All right, guys, have a great day, and let's make a lot of money.